Hey there bookworms, or welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Katie and welcome to this week's weekly reading vlog. So I am continuing with two books from last week's video, Reaper Man by Terry Pratchett and The Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. So I'm really close to finishing this and I'm somewhere in chapter 21 and that is on page, I think it's 159 or somewhere around there. I'm really close to finishing this. I know I had said last week that I was wanting to finish it by the end of that week's video, but I won't lie, I was dragging it out. I am just really enjoying listening to it. There is something about it is just really quite magical to listen to. I am definitely going to make the effort to finish it this week. Also, I think I just haven't been that awake at night, whereas this past week also I have been really quite awake at night and struggling to sleep. So I've been reading quite a lot in the evening, but where I made the questionable decision to start jogging again, I'm actually pretty like worn out when it comes to going to bed, which is really quite nice because my biggest fear during this fellow situation was that I would stop sleeping. So yeah, I'm really close to the end now. Lord Asriel has made another appearance and that man is just cutthroat and ruthless. The way he talks to Lyra is actually hysterical. I love that man. He's a dick and truly I hope he's going to be in the rest of the books going forward. With Reaper Man, I haven't made any more progress since I signed off yesterday, or have I? No, I haven't. I'm on page 60, so I will continue reading that in a little bit. We'll have an hour or so where I will just sort of sit down and try and make a bit more headway in it and actually try and really gather what the plot is. So when I signed off on last week's video, I just sort of said that I noticed this was more, the plot isn't always apparent to begin with, but the plot of this is that Death has kind of gone AWOL. He's discovered he now has time before he's going to be replaced and has disappeared. We have a character, an old wizard called Wendell, who was due to die, and he did die, but then there was no one there to be like, this is where you go. So Wendell went back to his body and is now just walking around and causing chaos with the other wizards. I said before it reminded me of the Family Guy episode when Death sprains his ankle and he gets Peter to pretend to be Death because obviously everyone realizes that Death isn't happening and they're like stabbing and shooting each other. So it really kind of reminds me of that. So it'll be interesting now going forward if Death is actually going to be in it, because although he's gone AWOL and he now has time to do all the stuff he wants to, he actually hasn't been in it. Really. I know we're only 60 pages in, but it has mostly been from Wendell's point of view. Also, we have this weird mysterious plop sound that is appearing, and it seems to be that snow globes are kind of just appearing. I don't know, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I will read some more of that this evening, and then hopefully I can read some more of actually physically read The Northern Lights tonight in bed. I literally have like barely read any of that book. It has definitely been more of an audiobook. So that is the plan going forward. So when I signed off yesterday, I had said that update wise I hadn't heard anything from work about going back to work. I am now in my third week of being furloughed. Not 100% sure on that one anymore. We had a message on our Facebook group that had just said that hopefully we'd all received our letters now explaining the furlough process, and they had to like read this script when they told us everything that happened and tick off the boxes to make sure we were happy about everything. So they all got sent to us, and it just the same of 48 hours will be our notice to go back to work, and at the moment they have had no updates, no news on anything, which to be honest hasn't surprised me. So I'm pretty settled in my routine now on what I'm doing daily, getting up around the same time, getting up, getting ready, having breakfast. I go for my walk. I'm now jogging around that green, which is a questionable decision. My legs are so sore. Oh my god, my legs are so sore. It is ridiculous. Today, Gavin happened to come and meet me on that green, so instead of jogging, we just walked around it quite a lot, and my legs are aching like crazy. I'm gonna go for a proper nice big walk tomorrow, hopefully, if the weather doesn't turn on me. So otherwise, that it is it plan-wise. Got nothing else to brewing. guys, so I was actually going to do this on Monday, but I thought, you know what, camera's here, tripod's up, let's just do it. I finished the Northern Lights this morning whilst I was getting ready before my walk earlier. Oh my god, that walk was 5 miles long. My legs hurt, my butt hurt, everything hurt, and I'm so tired. But yeah, I finished the Northern Lights, I was listening to it and I got ready, and oh my god, I think I gave that book 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I did. I think I was just so caught up at the end of it. Philip Pullman's voice is amazing, and I think the thing I loved about it was really ramping up, and I don't think I would have got this had I been reading it, but he was reading it with such a sense of urgency and like importance. And then when Lord Asriel was speaking as well to someone, he himself had this urgency, and he was just like, come with me, we can do this, and then there's Philip Pullman, and then he's being all like I can't really my attempt to act it out is terrible. There was just such this sense of just like urgency, and I'm there just like doing my mascara like, oh my god, go with him, but don't go with him. It was just so good the way it was just building like that. And yeah, oh my god, I'm now so like, okay, come on, yeah, let's get to the next ones. I'm trying to think if any of my other audiobooks have been like that, but it was just, I guess maybe because it's his own baby, he knows how he wants the flow and wants the tone of it to go, so that when he's reading it, it's like, yeah, like come on guys, like this is it now, we're hitting this last point, be important. I don't actually know what I'm gonna read next now. I'm sort of not even like at that point of thinking. I'm sure I will find something. I'm just finding it awkward and hard to balance my time between reading 2 physical books, because I had home and then I had work books, whereas now I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna read my work book in like the late afternoon before dinner, and then try and read my home book before bed, but sometimes I'm tired, so I don't know. I'm trying to figure that one out. But it was so good. Oh my god, like poor Gavin. I subjected Gavin to a rant about this. I was trying to explain to him just how suddenly urgent it suddenly felt, and the way they were talking and the way he was narrating. I mean, I'm sure he did not care the slightest, but I needed him to understand. But yeah, I was gonna save that for Monday, and I thought, you know what, no, people need to know how I'm feeling right now. And right now was, I mean, I should have done it this morning, but I was too busy trying to shove food down my face so I could go for my ridiculously 5 mile long walk. I'm not even kidding, that book finished and I stood there and I was like, you sir, you good, so well done, Philip Pullman. I was pretty much really ready to give that man a standing ovation. I'm gonna stop now, but yeah, just thought I'd just throw that out at you. Hey guys, just thought I would very quickly check in with you, and you may have noticed I got me some new lockdown hair. Yes, it needed to be done, to be honest. I just kind of thought that with the current situation, my hair is just it's just living in a ponytail and in a bun, and I pretty much was only washing it once a week, and I was just getting really worried about like knots and tangles, and just, I don't know, I feel like I've worked quite hard on transitioning my hair from being straightened all the time to being curly, and I'm a bit like, quarantine just seems to be ruining it for doing that. And I wanted to have braids again for ages, and it just kind of seemed like a why not time, make my life a bit easier. The actual process was not easy, it was harrowing, so harrowing. So before I had braids, you can currently see cute red twist, really nice because it matches my hair. But yeah, this time we decided to do it a bit differently. This is all fake. Yep, all that's fake. My hair has been cane rode to my head, and then the excess has been fed through, but we did it like long ways first, but the elastic bands we had just kept snapping, and so they were eventually falling out. So then my mum undid it all and left it all in rows at the front, and then the rest of it like snaked around the back of my head. So it took 2 days, a lot of pain, to be honest. By the second day, that was a problem, and I just had a massive headache. It was so bad, and I felt so sick. I was really ill, which is why I didn't check in on Monday, because I still felt a little bit funny on Monday, so I didn't feel too great, which was a bit rubbish. My new sweatshirts have arrived. One thing, Sports Direct, an XL, apparently according to you is 16, is not an XL. This is very snug. However, nice for around the house, but impractical for what I wanted it for, but hey ho. Reaper Man. I feel like I've hit a slump with this book because it was taking me a really long time to get into it, and like I said before, the first beginning bit kind of doesn't really make sense, and it has a habit of jumping around between characters and then just random characters who don't have any bearing on the story. And last time with More, it took a while to get into, but then it was totally fine. This one, it felt like it took longer to get into the plot, so I straight up, Sunday morning I did this, and yesterday I just forced myself to just sit and just read solid, and I read last night as well, and I am now on page, drum roll please, I'm now on page 240. I am now ridiculously close to finishing this book. I have a tiny amount left. It is ridiculous. I'm very proud of myself. I have actually literally messaged Gavin and I said to him, I need you to pick me more books. This is like the 3rd time I think now this year I've said to him, I need you to pick more books. He, God love him, I don't know, he just has a habit of that he's picking more series than standalones. So this time I have made him a list of 14 books of standalones. 2 of them aren't standalones, 2 of them are actually part of a series, but they're like the DC icons, so you can read them separate. So yeah, I have just given him a list of standalones, some that I own, some that I don't, but they're on my TBR and they're on my Amazon wish list. Like right now, after I'm so close to finishing more and I finished the Northern Lights, I don't really know what I want to read now. I don't know, I don't really feel any kind of want to read any of the books at the moment that he's picked. I love How to Begin With. I was like, this is such a good idea, I'll get Gavin to pick my TBR, and it was a really good idea because he picked books that I probably wouldn't have picked, and you know, he picked some books that like have been on my TBR for years, he picked some newer ones, he really picked some interesting ones. However, was not enough. I kind of just forgot how much of a mood reader I am. I really forgot how I think because normally when I pick my TBR I pick like 30 books and I don't often have to stray off that list. I only really stray when I need a standalone. That has not worked at all. So I have made him a list and I'm going to send it to him tonight or in a bit when he gets back from work, and then we'll have a little phone call and we'll go through it together. Just an excuse for me to talk to him and see his face, to be honest. So yeah, kind of didn't think that through. So yeah, I now have an additional 14 books for him to look at, but again this afternoon I'm gonna just not force myself to read Reaper Man, but I am really close to finishing it. I haven't enjoyed it as much as more, definitely haven't. Look at that, I'm not wearing black for once. I know, it's a small miracle. So final check-in. So I didn't really get much reading done of Reaper Man. Yesterday we ended up having dinner quite early, and then in the evening I was doing a video call with Gavin whilst he was picking my remaining book. So hopefully this is it now for the rest of the year. I will not have to keep asking him to find books for me unless I literally read everything that he's picked for me, which is probably unlikely. So from the 14 that I sent him, sorry, he was like, how many do you want me to pick? And I was like, I don't really know. And I was like, well, say maybe go with 5, because I think I've still got a couple of other books still floating around as spares. So I was like, yeah, go with 5. So the 5 he picked: The Kingdom, The Boneless Mercies, Fear the Drowning Deep, The Glass Women, and The Binding. So very happily, I own all of those, bar 2. So here was me thinking, oh crap, I'm gonna have to do like another book haul, which let's face it, another book haul is coming. So I'm gonna get started on The Boneless Mercies first. I'm really excited to pick this up. I think this was like an additional book before, I think either last October or the October before when I went on holiday, and I think it was when I read The Darkest Part of the Forest, and I think I was reading something else, or it was the holiday last year, and I think it might have been the holiday last year when I read, I think it was Heir of Fire or Queen of Shadows. I took one of those with me on holiday, and I also read The Wicked Deep, and that was going to be my, if I read those 2, that was going to be my next read, but then I never had time. So I'm very excited to pick them up. I'm very interested in his choices. Again, he didn't just, this is why I didn't read last night, because he was actually there reading through all 14. So, and like Fear the Drowning Deep, he was like, oh, that takes place on the Isle of Man. He was like, yeah, add that on the list. So he's really actually into it, even though he doesn't read himself. So I'm very excited. So I'm gonna edit this tonight once I'm done, and then I'm gonna do my best to finish Reaper Man tonight. I want to get that done so that tomorrow I can start afresh with The Boneless Mercies, and then I can just try and get one more book in before the end of the month. Yeah, I probably will do another book haul because I can't help myself. Also, I need 2 of those books at least, and you know, why not? Speaking of book hauls, I also pre-ordered Stephen Fry's new book. I'm so excited. So if you don't know, I am ridiculously in love and obsessed with Stephen Fry's Greek mythology books. He's done Mythos and his newest one, Heroes. The next one is Troy. I've said this before, I really hope he does a book that is like on the monsters, on the baddies. But yeah, the next one is Troy, and I grabbed myself a signed edition. So that'll be a lovely little pre-order. I'm gonna have to make sure I keep that email or print it somewhere, and I don't walk into like a supermarket or something and go, oh look, Stephen Fry. I have to try and make sure I remember that I pre-ordered that book. But I mean, that is still a way off. I think it's like October till that comes out, but it's something to look forward to. So a little bit of a work update, because I'm pretty sure this happened after I spoke to you guys yesterday. Katie, who is part of my team, she goes back to work on Friday. She got the call yesterday. Her and 3 other people have been called to go in to start to start Friday, and she thinks that the people who've gone in is her, who is my job, who does deliveries. There is another lady who is like, who does fragrance, but she also helps and does rebuilds on a Tuesday night with Katie. And then the 2 others are just till people, so she thinks maybe those 2 might be to go on tills, and then her and the other lady will be doing deliveries. Apparently they've been having quite big deliveries, like $9, which is a lot for this time of year. May is, yeah, unless we're having a massive rebuild, I think we would use some new makeup and beauty just from some things that I've seen popping up. I think like newer brands that are maybe meant to be coming to us or something, and not 100%. Yeah, so we wouldn't normally see that sort of influx unless it was after our audit or Christmas time. So $9 doesn't happen a lot, and if it does, it's sun cream and we just go bye bye, see you upstairs. But they have been saying they've been seeing a lot more customers. The lockdown rules will be, I think, relaxed slightly come Monday, so I don't know if people anyway are starting to come out more. I don't know, maybe that's affecting it, not really sure. But it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how it is for her going back, and how she feels and how she's finding it, and just finding out how work is. This is the thing, like, I want to know how work is, and I want to know how they're doing. I'm terrified to know what the state of it's going to be like. I think this is the thing we're most worried about, is that, are we just going to have stock everywhere? Like, is our precious stock room, which was all ridiculously neat when we left, is it going to be like hell on earth? I don't envy her because we're not going with her. Part of me was like, oh, why does she get to go back to work? But then I realised, yeah, but me and Sam aren't going either, and I think if I was stuck going back without either of them, I wouldn't be happy. So part of me feels like glad that it's not me, and the other part of me feels bad because she's doing it on her own. But yeah, I don't think I could cope without the other 2. Monday is another bank holiday, so I'm hoping might be able to go for a walk. I did a nice 5-mile one this week, so hopefully I can do another one. God, I'm trying to take advantage of this weather as much as I can right now. So that's it for this week's weekly reading vlog. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to smash that like button, and as always, comment below. If you're new, then hit the subscribe button, and don't forget ding the bell to never miss a video. I hope you have a great weekend and bank holiday. Whatever you do, stay safe, and I will see you on Monday for another video, which I have no clue what it will be, so we'll work on that.